I don't really have too much of context on this, but okay. Why are the Japanese still looking at us as a third world country to the scale where Bajaj, TVS, Hero, and RE are growing with best in class products? What are they going to do now? Bring in the hybrids. Look at the pricing and products.
I understand where the question is coming from, but basically the premium market in India has moved forward quite dramatically, and it's all being done by Royal Enfield, TVS, and
So not this
Bajaj
segment,
and
but the
Bajaj's brands, KTM, Triumph, etc.
okay.
The Japanese don't seem to participate in that with any seriousness. So Honda CB300Fs and Rs, they came and went. Yamaha's not gotten past the R15. The R3 MT03 seems like a half-hearted effort because they made the price adjustment, but they didn't bother to open a CKD. So I understand where that question
So
is.
R3 MT03 are on sale?
Currently not on sale.
This
As
is
we
the
are
thing.
recording this, it's currently not on sale. But they came at a high price. Then the price was adjusted down. By that time, there were no supplies. So the people who even at that point intended to buy had quite a bit of difficulty buying the R3 and the MT03 because they are imports. Their prices of parts, etc., remain super high because those are also imports. So essentially, I can see how it could be interpreted as, oh, this is just lip service to our premium motorcycle buyers by the Japanese brands rather than being taken seriously. Suzuki is also the same, right? They did the Gixxer SF V-Strom years ago. And then since then, what? So if you look at the 400cc class of motorcycles today, the only thing missing are all the Japanese brands.
That's
right?
true.
Kawasaki does entirely a CBU-based operation, more or less. And from there, the 500s come. But those 500s are sitting at ridiculously high prices. So it doesn't add up too much. So I understand where it's coming from, but you should understand that whether they think of us as third world or not, this is their lot globally right now. Nobody's thinking of the Japanese manufacturers as being at the cutting edge of what's new and what's happening.
Correct.
Right? Everywhere that has swung in the favor of either the Europeans for tech or the Chinese for price and quality. So in the middle, the Japanese have gotten caught out a little bit. If the Japanese have realized that they've gotten caught out, it'll take them a few years before they can recover from it and regain that footing because they don't do anything quickly. They do work methodically. So when the results will come, they will be good results for sure. So we've seen Honda's CB Hornet, etc., suddenly gain a more positive reception, which we have in limited numbers in India. But can I see a concerted effort to unlock the 400cc class enthusiasm from the Japanese yet? I wish Yamaha would get on it, but so far, no action.
Yeah, like I mean, you brought up Honda, like even in cars, like Honda's those new concepts that they showed just now, such cool, like it just feels like a new wave of Hondas, right?
Right.
And you're like, okay, yeah, bring these, make them well, price them well. This looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, there are many more questions like that about the Yamaha and the Japan angle, so I'm going to skip past those.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Rio, and he's saying the XSR 155 is that high school crush who never gave you a second look, only to slide into your DMs years later.
Yeah.
Now that you've got your life together, suddenly she's all smiles and attention. So is this a glow up worth entertaining or just too little too late? And when it comes to today's 150cc, does she actually stand a chance against the rest of the line?
There's two sides. One is the question about the XSR having been a bike that you fell in love with and so many years later it has finally arrived is a question you have to answer. Are you still in that mind space or not? Right? If I were to rewind 3 years ago and consider myself a prospective 150cc buyer, the XSR would have looked super, super attractive. But am I a 150cc buyer today, 3 years later? I'm not sure. Maybe I moved on to 250s, 300s, 400s. I don't know. So that part of the question for you, I can't really answer. As to whether there is game in the 150cc segment for another bike to arrive, yeah. I mean, we are nowhere close to saturating the market outside of maybe commuters. And the commuter saturation may not be coming from too many ICEs available, but too many viable electric alternatives doing that job at a lower running cost. Not overall cost perhaps, but lower running cost. So to me, not only is there game, there will be more game. We've just heard that Bajaj has updated the Pulsar 150.
So it's not too late,
no,
clearly, but it's not too little either.
See, too little, you can accuse Yamaha of for the things that I said. Could they have retuned this engine to be more consonant with the visual promise of this motorcycle? Yes. Could they have retuned this suspension and riding position to be more consonant what a retro, reasonably fast motorcycle should be able to do? Yes. Did they do those things? No. But are the international Yamaha XSR models fundamentally different in approach from what the XSR is doing in India? Also, no. Think about it like this. When the R15 came out, they said we scaled an R1.
Yeah.
When the R15 version 2 scaled an R1. Version 3 scaled an R1. Version 4 scaled an R1. Yamaha's not changed what they do. And if you do that process of how does Yamaha make motorcycles, this is what you get.
Okay.
So too little, too late? Definitely not too late, because we are a very young market. Despite what it feels like that we are a little bit, let's call it bored of 150s because 400s are the current flavor of the month. There's still a lot more people buying and interested in 150s than can afford a 400 right now.
Shumi and I have had a long conversation about the XSR 155, and that's playing out on the MotorInc app. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see a 25-minute version, but on the app, it's over an hour longer. And it's important to get there because you might find it interesting that the XSR 155 has turned out to be a very popular pick for a certain kind of rider or buyer. What am I talking about? You'll find it on the app. As always, the app is free to download and free to sign up on.